Hello world, PDR coming at you here with a 2016 Jeep Renegade Sport. Really nice truck. And if you notice right here, we've got a dent that's from here to here actually. The majority of it is right there. And then the crease line kind of runs out to here. And so what we're gonna do is, it's morning. That's at 81 degrees, 83, 81, 84, 85, 79, 77, 82, right there in the center of the dent. So it's not warm out in the air, but this panel's been sitting in the sun for a while, so it's probably going to be just a real nice pull. I'll let the glue set. It's, you know, 2-year-old factory paint. It's a nice Jeep, so we got the glue gun all warm, and what I'm going to do first thing is I'm going to start with a larger tab, but I'm only going to put like a little triangle of glue in it. If you notice, there's only, now, like there's a little triangle, and then I'll come down with a little drop off that triangle, and I'll put it right in the center of that. And I don't know if you guys have a great visual because of the sun. I can always give you a little shade there. But we're not going to let that thing dry too long. And I might even use the mini lifter for this one if it'll fit around that big tab. Let's see, you can see. Yeah, it fits around it. And let's just use the mini lifter so I can kind of, I don't want to go this way with it and come off that line. I want to use that line as a stabilize. And I'm just going to give it a nice slow tug, guys. I'm not going to yank it. I'm going to turn it up a little bit. It already moved because I can move this. You'll know when it moves because you give it a tug, and then then it wiggles a little, so you can tighten this a little bit more. Give it another tug. Do I want to pull it high? Heck no. So let's check it. There's a little tipsy here for you. Let's check before I pull this thing off. Loosen it up, slide it off. And yeah, I moved it not high yet. But I don't think I want to give it that much more of a pull. I'm going to give it one of these just to see if it pulls that glue off. And now we'll hit it up with the 91 isopropyl. In the last video of me working on my car, I had the 70%, and you'll see how much difference it is. The difference in 70 to 90% is a lot, because once I get the lip up on that, boom, spray a little bit more, and that stuff just rolls right off. Wow, guys, I did pull it high. See? Right there, it came a little bit high, which is fine, because I can always tap that down. But I'm going to make another little tiny pull right here. I'm going to take a little tab with just a spot of glue in the middle. Not even in the middle, I missed. But I'm going to hit it in the middle of that dent and then squish it to the middle of the tab. Let it just barely dry, because that pulled great. I mean, it's cold out here, but the metal's nice and not warm to the touch, but almost. And we'll give this one another little try with the mini lifter. Come on, can you get around there? Hello. This is one of these cheaper tabs too. This is one of these tabs that just, yeah, the tab didn't hold that well. If I used a Keiko tab, it would have done a better job. But this was a cheap little tab. And quality in materials, guys, is a big deal. It's you could buy these cheap tabs, and I'll show you the difference. The cheap tabs right here, you can tell there's a big difference between that cheap plastic, it doesn't even have a name on it, and the ones that say Keiko, that are solid, sturdy, thick. They'll last 1,000 pulls. So and the feet on it grab the glue way better. So there is a big difference. We're probably going to do this dent in a couple of clips. Let me show you guys down here what I'm talking about. See that? If you look down on me like this, you can see we got a football of a dent that is there. So I'm gonna end up opening this thing up. Actually, I'll open it up right now and show you. We've got it taken apart, and we're gonna end up getting in here with the rods bracing this thing open, and the next shot that we'll come back to is me with this thing braced open and working on it like this, looking up into the sky. 1, 2, 3 chemtrails already. It was a clear day about an hour ago. 5 chemtrails in the sky, and now we got a cloudy sky. That's just off topic, but we will come back here and show you what we got in just a second when we're pushing the rest of this out. I really appreciate you guys sticking with us for this part of the video. For this long in the video so far, if you have already, hit that like button. Okay guys, we got it propped open, and actually I haven't used any tools yet. I've made 1 or 2 more glue pulls. So let's make another glue pull here. I want to come from the top. And let's just give it a real soft pull. I waited a little too long because we were getting ready to film here, but let's just see how much of this dent actually has come out with just glue pulling so far. So quite a bit. It still has this line that if you get enough angle on it, you'll see, but it's got a low here. And let me just try to make one good solid glue pull where I want. Grab the quality tab. The glue is still nice and hot. And I'm gonna come, I don't know if you guys can see this area like right here, but it's kind of this weird little triangle, little teardrop area right there. That's where I just had the tab previously, and I didn't make a good pull because the cold wind blowing on the car, it's not really that warm anymore. We want to pull it pretty quick. Yeah, 60. It's down to 60, so it's cooling off very quick. And I don't want to pull it too hard. The key on this one is doing it nice and slow so I don't cause myself more work. A lot of times with glue pulling, guys, you will cause yourself more work tapping down than if you just stop halfway through the pull and use the isopropyl to get it off. Like these right here, boom, 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 these 3 highs, I literally didn't pull it all the way up, I stopped. So let's get in here and take some of these highs down. Excuse the noise, but I do have a rag stuffed in there to kind of deaden the sound. And so I'm gonna, well, that one's almost a little better here. Spend some time dialing in these little tappers, the high lines that from my glue pulling, and I think I'm just gonna do glue and tool basically at the same time, and just keep you guys here with me for a couple of minutes. Let's get it right on up to where it's tightest. Give it some nice severe taps. I mean, some of these taps sound pretty hard, but I'm not making little dents. I'm just hitting on the crest. And yellow and orange paint. I don't know if you guys can tell. I mean, obviously, yeah, it's probably pretty tough for you to see, but yellow and orange paint is one of the toughest to see a dent because it just eats up the light. So this dent, the customer is well aware that it might not be 100%, but by the way that orange kind of eats up the curves of the light, and this is just a little panel that we got to get straight, you know, I'm sure that we're going to get it looking real good, even if I have to break out the heat gun and tool it up a little bit. And it's almost warm enough right now that I could just make some real soft baby pushes. But I have to do it with this angle, and I know it makes it even tougher for you guys to see. So let's go like this, move the whole board up, make sure it's on, because I'm going to kind of muscle it right there. So I'm basically looking up at this dent right here, and I can work it with the tool going in. I'm thinking of grabbing Louis for this job. Just coming right in here with Louie, finding my access, maybe removing some of these towels. And a little kind of key trick is the towels do help sometimes. Finding my leverage. And then coming around and seeing if I can actually access this area. Which it looks like I can, obviously, but it's going to be some long and slow pushing. So there's not going to be much you guys can see. I mean, I know that I'm right about here, and I'm just holding the tool with both hands. Got it right on this weird little ridge of, I think, glue in there. And I'm making some tiny, tiny pushes. But yeah, this might go into ultimate boringness. So we might have to just come back and show you the end result. We got a lot of that dent out with the glue, the majority of the big stuff. And then for the little stuff, it's basically like, if I start over here, guys, let me just find my tool and start at the edge. I'm kind of in the middle, actually. I'm right in the middle. And there's this glue behind it that you'll hear cracking. Definitely it's not the paint cracking, thank goodness, right? But it's this backing of glue that, if you see when we looked in, it's really hard to work around. So either getting it warm or taking it real slow is just the key. And making sure my pushes don't kind of do that, what they just did, which is roll off the edge of that glue and hit into kind of a high point. Real in-depth stuff. I mean, if you just wanted to watch a dent come out, this is a little bit more than that on a video, because we're getting into some in-depth visualization and tapping. And I mean, this one does still have some crowns right up here from the initial dent, right down here, that I can come in and baby them out, straighten up this whole thing. The glue did a lot so far, and now let's do what we call cross-checking. Come down, get a good angle on the side. Let's go right here. Nice chilly breeze. Look at it through the side. See if we see what we're looking at. See, we got a large dent up here, and then a couple little high brows where I made my glue pulls through that tab, or through that crease, and then this little smiley face down here, which was the initial dent, but it's the remainder of it. We got a lot of that out. So I think what we'll do, guys, is come back in a bit and show you the end result, show you the finale. Because I'm going to spend a good hour on this one, working this one out and making it look real nice for you. And I know that'd be a long, boring process, like watching grass grow. So I sure do appreciate everybody sticking with me through this part. If you would, hit that subscribe button, and I'll catch you in just a sec. Okay, guys, we're back. I'd say we're about an hour, maybe an hour and a half later. And here's what we ended up with. Hopefully you guys can see what I see. I see a little tug right here. It's not perfect. I might even want to tap that down a little bit. But other than that, there's a slight wave that goes off. Let me show you what I did here, but let's just take a look at it with normal, natural light, as opposed to that large dent. And I will say, guys, this was a collision. I mean, this truck backed into something. We put it all back together nice, and you know, no holes were drilled. This thing came out pretty good. I would say we got it to that 95% mark. And the customer was well aware that, you know, if you put a board on it and you look at it with a super fine reflection, you might be able to see that wave. But I think he's going to be really happy with the result. And if you guys liked it, you know, show me you liked it. Let me know what you think in the comments. And once again, this has been PDR, and I'm out. Peace.